Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to day 10 of Vlogmas. I am so excited to have you here with me today. I am super excited because today a video is happening that I have wanted to happen for so long. So as many of you know, I run the business with my life partner and business partner, James. James was one of the youngest people in the UK to qualify as ACCA, so he qualified at 21 and became a fellow at 26. He is an incredible technical accountant and he leads our accounts team. So every set of accounts that leaves our doors has been signed off and approved by James. He really is incredible and I am so excited to show you a day in his life. Let's go. Okay James, so I'm doing Vlogmas this year and I really think young people or people who are considering a career in accountancy would want to know what you do in a day. So can I please do a Vlogmas day of you, like a day in your life?
I really don't want to do it.
Please.
I don't like being on the camera. I'm grumpy, I'm stressed, I'm ugly.
Stop! I just want people to see what you do and how special you are and what we're trying to build here. And I feel like people would really like to see what you do in a day.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so smile. Big smile. Okay, let's try a Christmas jumper. Okay, so James's first job of the day, the most important task, is to prank a member of staff. So James Harris, you need to come here and tell me what you've done. So James has a habit, firstly, of accidentally eating members of staff's lunches because they leave them in our fridge. James gets a bit excited and then he eats them. So yesterday, before Natasha went home, Natasha said to James, "Please don't eat my food." James's response was, "It looks disgusting, it's pea and bean sticks. I only eat unhealthy food, so why would I steal it from you?" Because Tasha explicitly asked James not to eat it, he decided not to eat it, but to play a prank on her instead. So this is what they look like, and James actually replaced them with hard shell pasta. So we're just gonna leave this here and see what happens. So that's James's first job for the day. Second job on the list is to get out to headquarters, check in with everybody, see what everybody's up to, what's on the agenda for today, so let's go! So James starts the day by running through his inbox and replying to anything urgent. He then goes through the items in his inbox, which is work that the accounts team have sent to him for review. So this could be anything from a company set of accounts, VAT returns, corporation tax returns, and personal tax returns.
Yesterday I sent over a working paper for James to review for sole trader and we're going to go through it together.
Evie is our newest member of staff, and so instead of just sending back review points like he does with the rest of our team, James is going to run through her workings together to help to train, support and progress her as an accountant. So they will review her working papers, the accounts she prepared, the tax returns she's prepared, and her email to the client before James signs it off, and it can then be sent out to the client.
What am I doing now? I'm trying to work out if an employee is entitled to work for our clients.
As you can see, James's day is incredibly varied and he gets asked a lot of questions by lots of different people. He is the HR department, the IT department, the accounts department, and the Christmas jumper department. He's now working through another set of accounts sent over to him by another member of the accounts team. So I'm the 7th person that needed James this morning, and we are just going to go through a set of accounts that I drafted yesterday and get some questions answered. I was having some trouble getting a retained earnings figure in my accounts to reconcile, and so James helped me to find the error and move forward with my work. We then reviewed the accounts together to get them signed off as the job was quite urgent. James is just helping me. I prepared a set of accounts yesterday for a client and James is now reviewing them. So reviewing other people's work is probably the biggest part of your job. Yeah. So James, we are an ACCA chartered practice, and James is the person that holds the practicing certificate. So every single set of accounts that goes through the company have to be approved and signed off by James. So the accounts team all work really, really hard to prepare accounts and working papers to support all of the numbers in the accounts, and then we all send them to James. James has to review them and approve them before they can go out to clients to be approved as well. So James is just reviewing a set of accounts that I prepared for him yesterday. Okay, what's happening?
Opening the Christmas cards.
So we have designed our Christmas cards to be sent to all of our clients this year, and James can't remember the designs, so this is going to be a surprise for James as well. This is the end.
I just wrote a quick card to a client that we're seeing later on today, and then another client came to visit because he was in the area, and so James, our client, and James, our James, spent some time together just running through how his business is going at the moment, whether or not there's anything that we can do to help and support him, and just checking that our clients are happy. Client retention is hugely important to us as a business, and it's a really big part of James and I's role as managers and business owners.
Hello! So we're having a wild Friday night. It is 4 o'clock and we are en route to a client. So this client is, I remember when I first ever thought about us working together and thought about like taking on our own clients. This was literally my dream client. So this is a client that I've known and been a fan of for a really, really, really long time. And then this year, they actually became a client. So I'm very excited to show you who they are and what they do. I am posting them as part of our Christmas gift guide series. So definitely check us out on Instagram if you'd like to keep up to date with different clients that we have that could be a great gift for somebody that you know this Christmas. So they are actually like us. They are a couple who are business partners and life partners. So they are actually husband and wife, and the client is called Jesse's Art Shed, and they sell, they do children's workshops, adult workshops that are all super, super crafty and exciting. I've actually done a lot of them personally. So I've done Christmas wreath making workshops with them. I've done making like hair flower bands with them. Jessie was a part of me asking my sister to be my maid of honor. So I'm literally a Jesse's Art Shed super fan. We both get on with them really well. So we're basically taking some mince pies over to them, we're taking a Christmas card, and we're going to sit down with them, and part of their onboarding with us was getting them onto accounting software. And so now that they're on accounting software, they've sort of passed that hurdle. They now want some help in terms of how they can use their accounting data to really drive the decisions that they're making within their business. And very often we try and do a lot of this over Zoom because it's really efficient and effective, but actually Jesse's Art Shed is basically Santa's Grotto to me, so I'm really excited. We get to meet them in person, have a cup of tea or a hot chocolate and a mince pie, and really sit down, mainly like not even as their accountant, just as like other business owners, to just sit down and talk about the numbers and how you can interpret numbers to help drive really strategic decisions. Because I think for them, their business changed significantly during the pandemic. So pre-pandemic, they were a brick and mortar shop, and then over and above that they did children's and adults face-to-face workshops, whereas during the pandemic they had to completely pivot their business. They started selling like letterbox workshops. The last Christmas we bought loads of a little kit where you can paint and decorate your own little Christmas tree decorations, and so they really pivoted their business to meet demand and to keep the business afloat during lockdown. And so as we're now emerging from the pandemic, they want to use their accounting data to drive the decisions that they're making for 2022, so that they can prioritize where to put their time, where to invest money, resources, staffing, marketing, things like that. So I'm very excited. Obviously this video is a day in the life of James. So it's actually been really difficult to capture a day in James's life, mainly because so much of the volume of his work is reviewing client files, reviewing accounts, getting them signed off. Obviously a huge amount of that for us is very confidential and quite difficult to translate onto a YouTube video. So do you want to just run through a couple of the different things you did today? Obviously the big bits were we had a meeting with a client, they came over. A huge part of James's day is spent...
I was going to say, I saw James drive past the window, so I sent him a text saying, what are you doing? And he said, I'm in your area. I said, do you want to come by for a cup of tea?
This client literally, like, James was just upstairs looking out the window and saw his van go past, so James texted him saying, what you doing? And then he came for a cup of tea, a mince pie. We gave him his Christmas card.
It was nice.
It was really nice. So we saw a client. A huge amount of James's time is basically taken up by us all bothering him, and people say James's name more than anyone else's name. James can get anywhere up to like 150 emails a day, and they range from small queries from clients that can be managed by their accountant and James can just pass straight on, all the way through to like actually really big things that need prompt responses by only James. And so keeping on top of that takes up a lot of James's day, in between signing off accounts, managing staff, making sure everybody's happy. It's a lot.
Do we talk about Solomon and that he's off COVID and that we have to cover for him? And he's,
I
like
didn't.
15% of the workforce.
Yeah, so we actually have a member of staff off work at the moment. He has got COVID, and firstly, we've been very, very lucky to only have one person get COVID. I don't even know how, like, we got away with that. Everybody else has been tested consistently this week. Everybody's negative. So we're very lucky, firstly, to only have one person off. But for us, one person going off, we're only a team of 7, so that's quite a huge chunk of our workforce. He's one of our accountants, and so we're heading into busy season, like one person down, and so the last couple of days for us has been just kind of trying to just manage, keep on top of his workload, keep work getting out, and so I think that's the biggest thing as a business owner, rather than an employee. Like, your day can just absolutely go from 0 to 100, like not be what you expect it to be.
We had IT problems this morning. He couldn't access the OneDrive.
Yeah, James spent 25 minutes this morning helping a new starter get access to the relevant drives that they need in SharePoint.
It's important to have process notes, though. That's part of our job.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that there's notes for other people to be able to do these things.
Yeah. To me, James literally has like the hardest job in the whole business. Like, every single set of accounts have to be signed off by him. He manages the entire accounts team. He manages every single process, every single piece of work. He's firefighting like clients' expectations, staff's expectations, making sure the staff are happy and supported as well, which is a huge part of what we are trying to do, and a huge part of the change that we're trying to create within the industry is just like the level of support that we're giving our staff, because our work's incredible. And yeah, so James has the hardest job in the world, and he does it better than anybody else could ever do it ever. And so I wanted to try and find a way to reflect it in this video, and we did also want to say
Grippingly shy with videos. It's kind of like being on camera.
Yeah, James is a very shy person, and I think he's the best person in the world. I think he's the most confident. I think he's incredible. But James really struggles with videos, and you're just shy, aren't you? You're shy. Yeah.
Don't like looking at myself. Don't like listening to myself. I don't know how you do it.
James is a shy person, but I've always felt really keen that I wanted to like bring James more onto the YouTube channel, mainly to show other people that you don't have to be like me to do well. And like, actually, for a lot of people, they don't want to be on camera and they don't want to be chatting all the time. They just want to be an accountant. Like, that's absolutely fine as well. But you've been amazing. Amazing. So we are half an hour away from the client. So I'll speak to you guys in a little bit.
So, as we said on the car ride, this client had to pivot hugely during the pandemic, and so wanted to spend some time with James and I to chat about how they can use the numbers within their business to make educated decisions to plan for the coming financial year and to continue with their growth. We talked about how they're using their accounting software at the moment, how they can use stock figures and revenue recognition to have a more accurate reflection of how their business is performing month on month. Like us, they are life partners and business partners, and so personal finances and business finances are closely related, and so we spoke about future financial goals and mortgage plans too. Alrighty, so it is 8 o'clock, we are back from the client. James and the dog and the duvet are snuggled up on the sofa. We've just ordered a Domino's. Oh, I really hope you've enjoyed a day in the life of my favourite person in the whole world. James's job is incredibly hard to capture and every day really is different, but I hope we've given you some insight into what it's really like running an accountancy practice, specifically running an accountancy practice as a couple as well. It's really interesting. Yeah, we hope you had the best time. Thank you so much for checking into VLOGMAS. Check the links in the description to this video if you want to see what's coming up next and what you've missed so far if you're just joining us for the first time. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today, and we hope to see you again very soon.